So, your kiddo or yourself wants to learn the flute. That's so wonderful, and I'm excited you're here. The question that revolves around your mind when it comes to learning an instrument is, what should you get? If you're a parent, I know you have lots of questions and concerns. First one usually is to buy or to rent. You're wondering if your kid is going to like the instrument or even want to stick to music. Though I can't answer if your child will like music, I can help you make a decision on what you should do. Now, to rent or to buy. Honestly, I personally wouldn't recommend renting. Beginner flutes are not that expensive, and many music stores give you the option to make a payment plan. You might as well own what you are paying for. And if your kid doesn't want to stick to the flute, you can always sell the instrument. You might have already started your search on instruments. If you have, you probably have come across this flute on Amazon or eBay. It costs about $85 and it comes in all sorts of cool colors. Any kid will be excited about that. But does it even work? Should you get it? I'm here to help. I went ahead and bought one of these flutes and even decided to get it in my favorite color, purple. Here's what I'm going to do. I picked out a flute trio to play and test. I'm going to play the cheap purple flute, my student beginner flute, and my professional flute. Though I won't be recommending the professional flute to a learning student, I just thought it would be fun to compare. I'm going to play all 3 flute parts on each flute. I'll layer the tracks so they align. This way I can play, feel, and hear different ranges on the same flute. It wouldn't be an equal comparison if one flute played high, one all mid, one all low. I'm going to play the song Twilight, composed by Herman Beeftink. He writes beautiful pieces, a lot for flutes and piano. If interested, I would recommend checking out his other pieces too. Okay, let's get started. And thank you, DA Productions, for letting us use your studio. What a wonderful piece, huh? Okay, let's talk about the flutes though. The purple flute, you know what? It played and it doesn't sound too bad. I've heard a lot of people saying they had to put more effort into the airstream, but I did not feel that way. The keys and the mechanisms though were heavier, slower, and louder. But if you really aren't sure if your kid is going to stick to music and you don't want to invest too much, or if this is all you can afford right now, this flute is better than no flute. Your kid will be able to learn on this flute and will be able to play in band. They're learning, so they won't be playing all those fast notes right now. So you don't need to worry about the slow mechanics of this flute. I do not know how long this flute will last, but I do know that the repair shops will not touch these cheaper instruments. If something happens to it, you'll have to buy another flute. But if you do get this flute and your kids stick to it, you're going to have to upgrade this flute at some point as they advance. So my consensus, if you don't have much money or don't want to invest a lot right now, I would say go ahead and get this flute. Just remember, you'll have to buy a better flute down the road. Now, the beginner flute. I have a Bundy. I started with the Bundy, and honestly, I love it. It plays all the ranges well, it's comfortable, and it's durable. If something happens to it, or it needs maintenance, like pad replacements, the music shops will repair this flute. Now, you don't have to get a Bundy. Bundys aren't made anymore, so they might be a little pricier and harder to find. So I made a list of beginner flutes I do recommend. It's attached in the description. And just for your information on why I do not recommend the professional flute to those who are learning, don't get me wrong, this is a great flute, but you have to control your air a lot more. The open keys are a challenge of their own, and trying to tackle that and just learning the instrument will be very overwhelming. And there are extra keys for more notes, but as a student learner, you're not even going to come close to playing these notes. I didn't learn these notes until junior year of college, and I started learning flute at the age of 8. And this flute is not cheap. So, my overall consensus, if you can, buy the beginner flute. If you have any other questions or concerns, please feel free to leave me a comment and I will be for sure to answer. Thanks for stopping by my channel, and I look forward to teaching your kid or you the flute.